All right, it's a little dark in here, but we're just gonna make the intro to the video because that's what I got time for. Today we are at Shillington Goodwill. I get to this Goodwill probably twice a week now, and I usually find good stuff. There are a lot of resellers in Shillington. I love meeting up with you guys. And yesterday, where was I yesterday? Route 30 Goodwill, and I ran into a family from Texas that watches me. So hello to you, family. Thank you for being so kind and so sweet and saying hello. And what else? This weekend, Roger is away. He is at March Madness basketball, a whole big tournament thing, and I am having a girls' weekend. So I am just running. But I've been listing consistently every single day, which I pretty much always do, but my sales are back up, so yay. And yeah, it was a little dry there for a while, but that's eBay, so it didn't really concern me. I just put my head down and make sure I list. And tomorrow is Saturday. Where am I tomorrow? Probably thrifting. But today we are at Shillington Goodwill. This is Shillington, Pennsylvania. We're going to see what we can find. Now, I'm not going to do the haul to this. I'm just going to show you the things in the store and show you the shelves like I normally do. I'm bringing you along with me. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button. All right, let's get on the road. Let's go thrifting. So today we are starting on the green aisle in Shillington Goodwill. At this point, I probably go to about 20 Goodwills in my routine. Here I'm picking up a flannel-backed oblong tablecloth. Now it's $5, so I do put it in the cart, but that has gone up. When I can get these tablecloths for about $2 or $3, I go ahead and pick them up and flip them for between $15 and $20. So as you can see, this gorgeous vase is just telefloral, and it does have a chip. But I'm trying to learn about different telefloral products, and I'm also hoping I remembered my little flashlight to see if this is uranium glass, which 99% sure it's not. I wouldn't think teleflora would do that, but I do put it in my cart to check it out, and as it turns out, I don't have my flashlight with me. Best laid plans. Okay, this green Apothecary Vaz is beautiful. Now, as you can see, it is just maybe a dollar store item. I do really like that green. If they would have had multiples of that, I might have picked those up. Just a little simply painted jar with no marking. And this next item surprised me or tricked me. I thought I was going to be able to pick up these little miniature bottles, but somebody had glued them to the plate. And I guess that would be really cute for a luncheon, maybe with a single little flower in each. So I'll have to keep that in mind if I ever throw a luncheon. Not so much these days. These plates were interesting. They had a fruit pattern, so I did want to take a look at all of them. And I keep telling myself no more plates. Recently I did pick up a big lot of dishes selling locally. And this morning I had to ship some of the plates I already have in inventory. So dishes is high on the list of not picking up anymore, but of course I still have to look. So as I went through them, I didn't think they were that great. I liked the cherries one the best, and they were quite heavy, probably like a ceramic stoneware, I'm gonna guess. Let's keep going and see what else the green aisle holds. Here is a Craftsman Heat Gun, and although I don't need a heat gun, I did want to run a comp on this because Craftsman tools still sell well for me. And I think Craftsman still has the money-back guarantee for life. I could be wrong about that. I know they used to have a guarantee that if something went wrong with the item, you could return it for, an equal exchange of an item. So as you can see, a couple of different items. They are chipped from Gallery. This is the Abbey pattern. There's also a crock pot. Back in the day, we all used to pick those up. I think the orangey red one sold for the highest. And then the market becomes saturated and you have to move on. That's one thing with reselling that I find. Most times, items that are super hot, people catch on to it, and everybody picks it up, and then it just, lowers the price on it because the market becomes saturated. So even though you might hear of something bringing good money, it's always good to do your homework. This bowl had a big crack, very pretty color. Again, I probably think this is from Home Goods or a home store. Lots of people shopping this day. Ran into a few friends, so thank you to everybody who says hello. I liked the feel of this in my hand. It was quite weighted. I didn't know if this was like a tumbler drinking glass, but I figured the mouth was too wide, so I was guessing a candle holder. Here I'm spotting Sesame Street. This is Nucor. The older Sesame Street can still bring very good money because people have sentimental attachment to it. So if you find Sesame Street and it's the really original stuff, you want to run a comp on it. These Trivets were interesting. Of course, they tape the two together, which I fully understand, and I do put these in my cart. When I got to the register, I believe we had pulled them apart and the bottom one was cracked. So at Shillington, they will not give you a price on a single item. They just damage out the whole thing, which I think is crazy. But that's their rules, so I was trying to respect what the thrift stores come up with. These were candles. I didn't think they were that attractive, but boy, did that pique my interest. Those things had to be over a foot tall. I don't imagine that would be very pretty burning. It would be like a topiary on fire. Somehow I wound up in the art aisle or the mirrors. This mirror was beautiful, very well made. I sell quite a few mirrors on Facebook Marketplace. I recently sold an Uttermost mirror, and that one brought $100. I think that one had a ribbon and bow motif, very 80s. So if this oval one would have had some kind of special, detail on top, I would have grabbed that one. Heavy mirrors are a thing. They are a pain to deal with, but when I can flip a mirror, for between $75 and $100, I feel like the work effort is worth it. Most times, guys, I don't know what I'm looking at in the art section. I'm just trying to use my judgment. I do look for a signature, and I put the signature into a Google search to see if anything comes up, if the artist has a decent amount of work online being sold. This Tiffany style stained glass lamp or light caught my attention. I did like this very much. And here I'm trying to decide if there's any damage, how well made it is. I usually look at the leading between the pieces of glass, how straight it is, how well done it is. And as I looked at this piece a couple of times, my finger got stuck by a piece of metal. So I didn't want to deal with passing that on to somebody, but I do look at these types of shades quite often. Here I'm trying to wiggle the pieces. If there is a little bit of wiggle in them, I have a tendency not to pick them up. I want those pieces of glass to be really sturdy. But I did go back and forth a couple of times. And here I'm realizing that it does have a very rough finish. Like I said, a couple of pieces of metal just sticking out where somebody could have gotten hurt. But I thought the design was good. I thought the colorway was good. And again, I would be selling this on Facebook Marketplace. Okay, I'm putting it back for real, I think. Many times I go back and forth, even after all of these years of thrifting and selling, I second guess myself quite a bit. I have little talks within my head. Do I want to ship that? Most of the times the answer is no. But a lot of times these things wind up in my cart and I just do it and I make very good money. Depression pink glass, I guess that's like a tidbit tray. Again, I don't know that these, can bring a really good profit, but I do still look at them. I'm not quite sure what I'm looking for. $1.99. And at the time I was looking at it, two gentlemen came around the corner and they said, oh, a depression piece of glass. I could tell they wanted it too. So I do these voiceovers because this store plays very loud music that is trademarked, and that is why we YouTubers have to do a voiceover. Because if the YouTube algorithm picks up that you have music in the background that has a copyright, it demonetizes, it takes away any profit you're making on your videos. So that is the reason that I do voiceovers for you guys. Plus a lot of days there are crying babies and talking people, and I would be shouting. Okay, this little piece of pottery, I thought it was just a little jar with a lid. And when I opened the top, there was a little rope inside. So it was an oil lamp. And I do wind up picking that up. You guys know me. I love pottery. I don't know that I'd ever want to make pottery, but I love looking at pottery. Hats, always hats. When I see a beautiful straw hat, especially if it's a foldable one that a person could travel and put it in a suitcase, I will take a closer look at it and see what kind of branding is on that. Most hats I pick up, it's because of the brand. There are some items that I sell that brand is not a big consideration, but most times branding is a consideration. These little wood boxes might be memorial boxes. Most times I pick them up. Right now in my store, I think I probably have a few, so I do leave this one behind, but that was tempting me. I just wanted to see how this glass looked up in the light. Very pretty, like leopard or cheetah print. And even if there were 4 or 6 of those, I would not have picked those up. Too heavy. So recently I showed you guys I picked up a large lot of glasses. I think they were Fostoria, which a lot of you made a comment and helped me identify the patterns. So thank you so much. And the first set of them sold, I think 4 wine glasses, if I remember, and they brought, I think, $55. So that was a great pickup because I don't think I paid $55 for all of the glasses I picked up. That was in a different Goodwill. So I still do pick up stemware, but I have to be pretty sure that, you know, it's going to bring the profit that I need for the work I'm putting in. Okay, these teak bowls, I wish they didn't have scratches. I would have taken them. This is part of a salad set. A lot of people doing mid-century modern might gravitate towards these, but I think these are from the 70s. And now we are looking at the yellow end cap. I have really grown to love the yellow. Oh, this picture was a surprise. It had a little hole in it, so it was a planter. It would be adorable with an air plant or a succulent in it. But I think the most I could get would probably be $9.99. That would be my guess. So I'm trying not to pick up too much of that price point. I do have quite a few things in my store for $10 and under, and I'm fine with that. I just always want to make sure that I don't have a lot of it, because the profit capability in something like that is probably about $6. Watching this video back, I missed the yellow little container with the black knob. I don't think that was Le Creuset, but it could have been. So if you don't know Le Creuset, it's not this basket that I'm talking about. They make beautiful enamel over cast iron pots, Lecreuset, I believe. And I always look for those. Recently I did score quite a few of them. That little Nantucket style basket went right in my cart. See, so that basket is not going to bring very much, but I thought that somebody might like that. Does it have a ring? Darn. Even though most days I'm not wearing a lot of jewelry when I go thrifting, I love jewelry. Although if you saw my jewelry box, I don't have very many pieces. The pieces I have, though, I make sure I wear. Okay, more wood bowls. I think this shape, this rounded shape, is more the mid-century modern. And this is teak. Teak wood is just beautiful. A lot of outdoor furniture made with teak is very expensive. So if there would have been 4 bowls in very good condition, I would have taken the round ones. I spotted this right away. I love this pot. And I think I might have shown this in a haul. So the haul came before the thrift with me. Sometimes that happens depending on when my videos come into the queue. But that's a no-brainer as long as that didn't have damage in the cart that went. I think I have that priced about $30. That is a hand-thrown pot, beautifully glazed. When you start to learn pottery, you can really tell the difference between a potter who has thrown quite a few pots and a beginner. And I love trying to figure out signatures on pottery. It drives me crazy, but it's pretty exciting when you figure out the artist. I'm not quite sure why a tennis player is on top of a jewelry box. That could have been a prize given out at a tennis tournament. I wasn't quite sure about that. Sometimes I just say to myself, how many people would want a tennis player on top of a jewelry box? And that's how I make my decision. Yep, I saw the Starbucks cup. I don't know why people can't just find a garbage can. Okay, this is like a leather look brass planter. Has a faux leather banding around the middle. Handles were broken off and I would not have picked that up anyway. So as you can see, Shillington uses the plastic blue bins or blue carts to bring out their new inventory. Nobody is allowed to touch it. I do peek in once in a while, but I always reassure the worker that I'm not going to touch anything. May I just look? And they're always kind and say yes. This was a very interesting statue. I wouldn't even know what keywords to use for that, truthfully. So as you can tell, we're on the blue aisle. I love to hear what your thrift stores look like, so leave a comment down below. I know a lot of you say that your thrift stores do not separate by color. So interesting to me. Okay, so here I'm finding this pot, and I'm thinking it's Le Creuset, but it's Dansk. Dansk can be a good brand. Now this does have quite a bit of damage, and when I ran comps on this, it did not have high comps, even without the damage. So this is like a small Dutch oven, I would call this, but look at the damage on this. I'm just hoping that that did not happen in Goodwill, but I know, truth be told, most damage, I think, happens once it comes into the thrift store because they're throwing things in bins. But it could have been done, by the owner. I did take the tape off of that pot too, and I believe it had quite a bit of damage inside. This is a little blue shot glass. I think I'm just attracted to it because of the cobalt blue. So pretty. And it had a name written on it. Sorry I didn't slow down to show that to you. Continuing on the blue aisle, I think somebody cleaned out their house that was decorated in either a seashell theme or a beach motif, because there were quite a few lamps filled with seashells. When I see something like that, I do turn the lamp around to see if there are any rare shells. I used to collect shells when I was younger, probably in my 20s, and I did learn a little bit about it. Okay, shout out to Mellissa, Freshbloominclothing, that's her color. I saw these cups right away. I knew this was Sango. And that brand or those cups do not do well for me. I never pick those up. I think I have one set left in my store and I've had it for like 3 years. So I just leave it in my store. Eventually somebody will come along and purchase it, but I would not pick up that brand again. There are certain brands that I just won't pick up, and I'm sure there might be high profit items within the brand, but as a general rule, I can't learn every item in every different brand, so some brands I have to just ignore. I liked that pine cone votive holder. I have to say for Shillington, this is Shillington, Pennsylvania, being such a big store, they do a great job with organization. Okay, this picture had my attention. I liked that it was the way that it was painted. Scroll work, cobalt blue, And I think I picked that up. I'm not sure. I might have picked a different one up in another store, but I can't even remember. Okay, shot glass number 2. So even though I'm learning more and more about glass, I'm still not picking up a lot of glass. Onto the white aisle. This crock jar caught my attention. Now the way that these are applied, I think was a transfer. So I'm imagining somebody bought this crock and applied the transfers on. $1.99. Do you guys remember when you used to be able to get a design and it was on like a paper, I don't know what that's called, transfer I guess, and you would rub it with like a popsicle stick? Leave a comment down below if you know what that is called. I remember doing that as a child, but I don't know that I ever did it on ceramics. Oh, this is the saddest thing. Somebody bought this project and did not paint them. Burt and Ernie, Sesame Street. If these were painted and they were older, I probably would have taken these. I think many people have fond memories for the shows that they watched growing up, and sometimes they decorate their own children's room with those same characters. Okay, this is a mixed aisle, mostly green. I'm not quite sure if I did this aisle, but here we go again. Little frog planter, $1.99. I feel like this frog is a famous frog. I don't know that frogs really look different from each other, but that caught my attention. This is a ribbed green glass bowl. Again, I forgot my little flashlight that tells me if something is uranium glass, if it glows. I carry so much in my handbag. My handbag is like 20 pounds. It's ridiculous. When I go to the flea market, you guys all want me to bring a rolling cart, collapsible rolling cart, and I always mention it doesn't work out. I've tried it several times, and because of the crowd and going up and down the aisles in the uneven terrain, it's just so hard. So just know that I hear what you guys leave as comments. At the end of the aisles, Shillington puts their bigger items out and group it together. I thought this coat tree was really good. This was iron. It was very heavy. And I did consider this for quite a while. I am a crazy person, but $40, no thank you. If this would have been, I'm going to say $10 or under, yep, I would have been crazy enough to load that into my Jeep. There have been days where, oh, my Jeep is just so packed. But here I'm really giving it a second thought, but $40 is just too high. I very much guard my buy-in price for things. I don't get tempted to buy something that's very high priced. I just pass it over and let somebody else enjoy it. So I realized they brought out a few more pieces of artwork. This piece was very interesting. I feel like I should know what this artwork style is called. I want to say it's like Cubanism. That's probably so wrong. I don't remember the style of this, but this really had my attention. Cardboard backing, it could be just a poster in there, and I guess that lower right corner has the artist signature. So it looks like X is 10, so 1061? I don't think so. But I do consider this for a little while. But because I'm in Pennsylvania, and I would make this local pickup, I don't think there would be a big enough audience for somebody wanting this. And with bigger pieces, that's what I judge, what people in my area want. Okay, another seashell lamp. And here I thought, there's got to be something good in there. But these are all common shells. Way too heavy to ship, way too breakable. And here I'm spotting one shell right there with the black spotting that I did not know what that was. But I wasn't going to buy that whole lamp to take it apart to get that shell out. I don't even know why I was looking at that cup. I am so nosy, so curious 2 Noah's Ark lamps. Oh no, surprise, it's a bank. So 1 lamp and 1 bank both had damage. So here I'm showing you the damage on the Telefloral vase. And like I said, I had no plan to buy this. I think the only glass vase that I've seen that will bring money is the pink, that's called Cranberry and Green Telefloral vase, can bring between 18 and 30, I'm gonna say. But this green vase does not bring money. I just wanted to take a look at it to further educate myself. Here I spotted this vase, which had a very interesting glaze. It's a contemporary piece, mass marketed. I was just picking that up to see just the shape of it. Quite interesting. Now we're on the last aisle. I think this is the last aisle in the store. Doesn't mean it's the last aisle for me. I go up and down the aisles multiple times. I do find the majority of the items that I pick up on the, I'm going to say the brown aisle and the green aisle are my top 2 aisles for finding items. Not to say I don't shop the blue and the red and the yellow, I do, but brown's still got to be the number 1 because you're finding baskets, wooden items, pottery. A lot of times pottery is on this aisle. Thrifting is so interesting to me because you go up and down the aisles, and if they are constantly putting new inventory out, you have to train your eye to pick out the new things. It's almost like a game. Okay, a pug tape measure. I think Anne Eckhart needs that. So if you're watching Anne, Shillington has a pug tape measure. So this item just came out. This is Pioneer Woman, $2.99. And I do grab this to take a look at it and run a comp, but the comps on the butter dish, not so great, so I do put that back. As you can see, I have some clothing in my cart also. Every single time I thrift, I am in the clothing and the hard goods, so I'm doing both. But to show you how I shop for clothes is quite a trick because it's just a lot of going through tags. So I don't think that would be that interesting for you guys. But if you guys want to see how I pick up clothing, you can leave a comment down below. I do still do clothing hauls once in a while, but thrifting for clothing, a lot of times I don't show. I think the hard goods are just more interesting. White is probably the hardest aisle for me to identify something. It all blends in together. Most times when I see made in China, I don't pick it up, which is probably a mistake. I'm pretty much looking for the vintage items. Wood and Sun, England. I'm thinking that plate probably wouldn't even bring $5. I'm not sure if less people are entertaining on a grand scale. People are having more casual parties, but I know China used to sell, when I say used to, I'm saying probably 10 or 15 years ago. I think it just sold better. And I'm not quite sure what has happened to the dishes market, to the China, to the serviceware market. Like I always tell you guys, I pick up a lot of the accessory pieces to set. So I'm picking up butter dishes, sugar creamer, serving platters, covered casserole bowls. I will pick up that type of China before I pick up, you know, the dinner serviceware. Three canisters in box. New always catches my attention. I'm guessing this was probably Kmart or Walmart. $5, a little too high. If that was probably $2 or $3, I would have taken that. Lots of Corelle, lots of Corningware, lots of Pyrex. this was a Trader Joe's dryer balls. I have never tried these. But you know, when you go thrifting as much as I do, you really have to be careful of how much stuff you bring home for your personal use. And here I'm thinking, I've never once thought to myself, gee, I could use a dryer ball. So these go back on the shelf, and I don't imagine that this would bring, you know, a big profit. I believe these are just made out of wool. Is that right, guys? They're made in Nepal, and Goodwill wanted $5. Yep, wool dryer balls. And there's Roger, going through the clothing. The man is so patient. When we go thrifting together, Roger looks at every piece of clothing in the men's department, every single one. And his store is doing real well. I'm sorry I don't share the name of his store. If he ever tells me that I can, I will definitely go ahead. It just creates a lot of competition for him. I share with you guys, and I don't mind the competition I'm creating by giving you all of my secrets or most of them. It's fine with me. But you know, for the average seller, it's not a good business practice to share all the time what you pick up, because then everybody picks it up and you put yourself right out of business. So I always respect, you know, that he's earning a living this way. But he is the most fun person to go thrifting with. We are still having a great time. Okay, a hurricane lamp shade. I have sold a lot of these, and I probably still have a couple left in my store. But again, I'm not picking any more of those up. So here I'm just going to insert the screenshots that I spoke about. This is the vintage telefloral vase in the cranberry and green swirl. And you can see what kind of prices this can bring. Most telefloral is a no, though. And here is the butter dish that I found and wound up putting back because not enough profit capability, but very pretty for personal use if you have that style kitchen. This one went for $9.99, this one for $8.50 after 10 bids, and this last one's $7.99. So you can see what kind of prices these items are bringing. Thanks so much for watching. Go out and get what's yours.